Okay, so to introduce myself, my name is Chris Brown. I'm the Chief Executive of the Parent Club charity. We run the Kitchen Club program, which is essentially a lunch club with additional activities for parents and young children, so preschool children. And we have a special focus on supporting families who live in temporary accommodation, right? We were completely thrilled to get the grant for the cost of living program, and the way that we decided to administer that funding was by issuing supermarket e-vouchers to the families who use our program at two settings. One, the Round Chapel, which is where we are now, and the other one was at the Redmond Community Centre, which is in Woodbury Down. Both of these settings are located very close to very large council-run hostels where families at risk of homelessness are housed by Hackney Council. And the way that we allocated the grant was we gave £20 vouchers for families with one child under 5, and then an additional £10 for any additional children under 5 that they had within the household. In terms of the impact of this funding, it was significant, quite significant. Lots of the families that we support and work with present with very acute needs around food and lack of other essential items for example, for their babies, like we're talking about nappies and other basics in the house. We do referrals into food banks and into baby banks, but of course with that sort of approach you're never exactly sure what you're going to get, and this way there's a lot more control that families have over the resources that they're going to bring into their family, and I think it just helps people to feel a little bit more in control of their lives.
So why have you decided to kind of started this voucher? Because there's a lot of food bank. I know you're referring your client or your service user to food bank as well. Why did you think that you should add this into your services? What was the need for that? Or why did you feel that you were adding
simply that we know from the families that we're working with that things are very expensive, people are very stretched, and any additional support that we can give to families is going to make a real difference to them. We're working with mainly single parent households with very, very low incomes, and it's very hard living in a hostel. You've got limited privacy, you have limited access to kitchen, cooking resources, exactly. And it's also quite isolating because there's no visitors rule in place for Hackney hostels. So this is just one way of making things a little bit easier for those families. And food banks, as you may know, are overwhelmed. They have many more families to support than they can easily do. And this was we just thought it was a good option to do, right? And it makes people feel that somebody is thinking about them and trying to meet their most basic needs. And when basic needs are met, people then can go on to think about other things that they might do. They have more capacity to think about their own well-being and the well-being of the child. So really we consider that meeting basic needs is a way of also supporting other outcomes like emotional well-being, even like having some time and space to then think about further training or education and other aspects like that.
Perfect, thank you. And the last question is, what kind of additional support you would like to have, the ideal? So now let's say, what kind of additional help or support or assistance you're thinking like I will have to have, with the funding? Is
Well,
it more
in
money?
terms of the administration of this funding, we're all set on that. We kind of know what we're doing, and we've been running it for a few months now, and it's going relatively smoothly. We've worked out how to, send an e-voucher by email. We've got a record of everybody's contact details. So in terms of support for the funding, we're all set. I mean, there are a wide range of other organisational priorities that we are constantly seeking support with. So we'll be looking to Hackney Giving to perhaps put us in touch with local businesses who might want to support us. We have a really nice idea that we're developing at the moment about putting together care packages for families who have just moved into temporary accommodation. So perhaps these are women who are fleeing domestic violence and have to move very quickly into a situation and don't really have very much by way of material resources. So we want to do something around that.
What would you need do you have everything in place, or is it to have more funds, a bit more, what?
It's really
time, resources, right?
I think it's we're looking to connect with local businesses who can maybe help us by providing maybe stuff that they don't need anymore, or stuff that can give us at reduced rates. That would be certainly helpful. I mean, in terms of kind of funding, as a small charity, we're constantly living hand to mouth. So most of our funding is project based, and
no core funding.
Core funding is more difficult to come by. So do we need more funding? Of course. Maybe some support around how to bring in some money from the corporate sector would be fantastic. I mean, 50-60% of my job is writing funding applications. So I'm keen to reduce the reliance on that, because it's no guarantees that we will get the money that we apply for. We've got quite a high success rate relative to other charities, because we've got a strong track record and we've got some high needs families, and we can make the case quite easily for why they need support. But sure, in the long term, we'd like to have more financial stability and a more diverse income
Stream,
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you.